Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back. Lord of the Plains here. So this is going to be a little bit more of a different video. So I ended up asking my siblings, I have 4 siblings, what their childhood movie favorites were, and what, mine were too. So I compiled a list of 124 movies that we all watched. Mostly this is going to be the ones that I watched a lot growing up, because I have a 13, 11, 7, and 5 year gap between my siblings, or however you want to look at it anyway. So I didn't get to watch a lot of movies with them growing up. However, granted, I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but I'm going to go over 124 movies in a bracket style, and I'm just going to kind of enjoy this, and let's see what movie reigns supreme. Now, I will say there are some, we'll get to it when I get there, but there are going to be some that I put together, because I didn't want to necessarily use them as a single one. So, it looks like for the first set of movies, Sandlot is the number 1 seed, which is pretty great. Apollo 13 and Grandpa's Magical Toys and We Sing in Sillyville. Now, if you have never seen Grandpa's Magical Toys, it was these little movies that were released in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's essentially a group of kids have an old grandpa, and they meet a clown and some magical toys and all that. Essentially the same thing for We Sing in Sillyville. It's a lot of music. Now, Apollo 13 was more of an adult movie, so based on this factor, I'm actually going to put Grandpa's Magical Toys up to that movie. So, okay. Now, Rescuers, oh my gosh. Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under versus Lilo and Stitch. Now, I love all 3 of these movies. Taking into consideration that there are 2 movies, I think I am going to have to go with Rescuers 1 and 2, just because I like the humor in it a little bit more, and not just because Lilo and Stitch is not great. I just like the Rescuers just a tiny bit more. I watched it a lot more than Lilo and Stitch, so that's one of the reasons why I'm going to go. Sword in the Stone and Incredibles. I liked Sword in the Stone a lot growing up, but I ended up I like the Incredibles a little bit more. I just think it's a lot more action, really cool, really fun. Now, Toy Story 1 and 2 versus Beauty and the Beast. I'm not going to put Toy Story 3 in here, because that was when I was like a little bit older, so I'm just going to go with like pure original 2. That's actually the first Toy Story was released the year I was born. I'm definitely going to go with the first one. Now, if this was the live action Beauty and the Beast, I would definitely be putting that one up there, because I think the live action Beauty and the Beast is far superior than the original animated one. Gremlins and Saturday Warriors. Now, Saturday Warriors, so if you did not know, I grew up Mormon, and I believe this is a Mormon set thing. If it's not, then I'm completely wrong, but he's just growing up wondering about his future. There's some good songs. Yep, An Ordinary LDS Family. Now, this is more of like my siblings' movies. I didn't necessarily watch this a lot growing up, and I don't really have any like feelings towards it. So just based on that factor, I'm going to go with Gremlins. Plus, Gremlins is so much fun. Don't feed them after midnight. All right. How to Train Your Dragon or Little Mermaid. This is probably going to be the easiest decision. I mean, I've got Toothless tattooed on here anyway. By the way, I'm really excited for the live action How to Train Your Dragon coming up in June of this year. But that's not even without a doubt that hard. Follow That Bird was a Sesame Street movie. And then My Turn on Earth was also I think it was another Mormon movie. Am I wrong on this one? Musical about a family in heaven that come into the earth and the challenges they face. Now, This one has some really sweet music, and I was a fan of it. Like I said, I didn't necessarily watch it a lot, but I listened to the music a lot more. Follow That Bird, though, it just kind of has that nostalgia feel. I used to love Elmo and Big Bird, but I just think you can't beat that. Now, Home Alone 1, 2, and 3, I am putting together because I watched all of those a lot growing up. I didn't really watch Little Women, so, this is going to be an easy one. So, it's supposed to say yours, mine, and ours, but apparently I got cut off. Or Arsenic and Old Lace. Now, this was the original Yours, Mine, and Ours with Lucille Ball. Arsenic and Old Lace is too much of a classic with Cary Grant. It honestly has what you want. It has comedy, it has some suspense, it has drama, it's a thriller. Plus, honestly, Cary Grant plays this role to perfection because you can't really tell if he is like trying to believe everything that's going on or if he's trying to give into the insanity, and I think he does it. Now, Spy Kids versus Father of the Bride 1 and 2. This is also, I don't know why some of these aren't popping up, but I'm putting Spy Kids 1 and 2 together. So this is a 2-movie matchup. Father of the Bride Part 1 and 2 and Spy Kids 1 and 2. Now, obviously, I watched Spy Kids a lot more than I did Father of the Bride. However, when I got older, and I discovered more comedy with like Steve Martin and Martin Short, and I was able to watch the movies and really understand what was going on, I would probably pick Father of the Bride Part 1 and 2 because there's a lot of great ones. But this is for when I was being a kid. And Spy Kids would definitely take it. But now that I'm an adult, it's really hard because I still go back and watch these, not that often, but every once in a while I'll go watch them. So I think for this fact, I'm going to go Father of the Bride 1 and 2. I just like it, and nothing to diss on Spy Kids, but Steve Martin and Martin Short are just two peas in a pod when it comes to comedy. George of the Jungle with Brendan Fraser or Mr. Mom. This was... Mr. Mom is one of those movies where you have Michael Keaton as a stay-at-home dad, and he's trying to, be a stay-at-home mom, but it's a dad. I'm going to go George of the Jungle on this one. I didn't really watch Mr. Mom a lot. All I remember is my dad saying, "Don't feed the baby chili." That's all I really remember about the movie. George of the Jungle, though, I watched it probably religiously growing up as a kid. Brendan Fraser is one of my favorite actors, too. We got Hook from Steven Spielberg and Robin Williams in The Best 2 Years. Once again, The Best 2 Years is another Mormon movie. This one is, if you choose to, you can go on a Mormon mission. I ended up doing that. Usually you go for 2 years. These ones are in a Dutch city. Now, you got Kirby Hayborn, who was a really great comedian. This has a lot of funny moments in it, and if you've never seen it, even if you're not Mormon, I kind of recommend you watch it. Just because it is funny, it gets you a little bit inundated in what the culture is, but honestly, it's just a lot of fun, a lot of fun stuff. But you can't beat Hook. I'm sorry. Hook is too much of a classic. I honestly still think it's one of Spielberg's top 10 movies. Critics hated it, but as somebody who watched it a lot, I found a lot of relatability to it, and I just absolutely loved it. Okay, I'm actually having a tough choice on this one. We got The Wizard of Oz and Duck Soup. Charlie Chaplin versus the original Wizard of Oz. Oh my gosh. That's a tough one. I love The Wizard of Oz. Sure, there's some errors with it because it was made, back when movies were just starting. But Duck Soup is such a great movie. Great comedy. Now, I will say, as a whole, I will watch The Wizard of Oz more than Duck Soup because I prefer certain scenes in Duck Soup than the entire movie. So, Based on that fact, I'm going to go with The Wizard of Oz. Just because Duck Soup, I could probably watch 4 or 5 scenes and then be done with it. Sound of Music or The Other Me. Now, The Other Me was one of those Disney Channel original movies. It had one of the Lawrence brothers. Essentially, he gets like a science kit and creates a clone of himself so he can do whatever he wants. And the other one goes to school, and they kind of both become their own different personalities. It's fun. Actually, when it went on Disney Plus, they changed one of the songs from NSYNC to a different song, and it completely ruined it. But Sound of Music is such a classic. Julie Andrews is amazing, so I'm definitely gonna be picking Sound. Beethoven and Muppets Christmas Carol. Now, I did not watch a lot of Muppets Christmas Carols because for some reason I did not like the Muppets growing up. I don't know why. Nowadays I do, and every Christmas you gotta watch it. Beethoven, it was a fun movie. I still kind of enjoy it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch Muppet Christmas Carol throughout the year. Whereas if Beethoven is on and everybody once in a while I want to watch like a fun dog movie, then I will pick that. It's going to be going up against The Sound of Music, so either way it's not really going to matter, but sure, that way I don't piss off my brother-in-law, I'll go with Muppets Christmas Carol. Little Big League and Sister Act. Oh, my sister Ashley loves Sister Act so much. Little Big League is one of those comedy baseball movies made in the 90s. I'm going to have to go with that. There's too many things that I love about that movie. Never really watched Sister Act, and I don't really remember a lot. But without a doubt, Little Big League is phenomenal. Santa Claus versus Cinderella. Now, the R and H is this one. Roger and Hammerstein's. I did not like this one growing up. I don't know why. Maybe just because I was at a weird point in my life, but I just didn't like it. My sister and my mom love it, but nothing can beat the Santa Claus on Christmas. Well, I lied. Polar Express probably could. But anyway, that's going to be a tough matchup. All right, Aristocat. I'm going to start going through this a little bit more. Aristocats and Chicken Run. I'm going to prefer Aristocats. I love Chicken Run. I love the animation style of the claymation, but I definitely watched Aristocats a lot more. Father Goose and the live-action Jungle Book. Now, this live-action Jungle Book that I'm talking about, this is from the early 90s with... It is this one. It has Jason Scott Lee, Carrie Elliott, Sam Neill, Leon Headey, John Cleese. This was a fantastic live action adaptation, and I freaking love it. That's definitely going to be winning. Father Goose with Cary Grant. It's good. Just didn't watch it enough. Brother Bear, Swiss Family Robinson. Ooh. I love the music in Brother Bear. I didn't necessarily care for the plot of it. So I'm going to go with Swiss Family Robinson just because I watched that a lot more. And I don't know. Swiss Family Robinson's one of those movies where every once in a while I go back and watch it. And I'm just like, man, I still really love it. Bad Moms and Broomsticks versus Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't even think there needs to be an explanation. Mrs. Doubtfire is one of Robin Williams' best performances ever. Jurassic Park versus another Disney Channel originated movie. That's not even a freaking question. We'll get back to that later. Tarzan and the Borrowers. Tarzan, that's easy. Great music. Honestly, one of the best Disney soundtracks of all time. Now, the Borrowers definitely had a young Tom Felton who played Draco. You had John Goodman in there. You had Kenneth Branagh. It's like one of those cheesy 90 kids movies that you watch and it was fun. Oh, here's a repeat of Jurassic Park. So we're gonna go with Rookie of the Year. That way we don't get a repeat of Jurassic Park. I wondered where there were a couple of repeats. Anyway, Mary Poppins and Angels in the Outfield. Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke, so good. I feel bad kicking Angels in the Outfield out, but Mary Poppins, such a classic. Princess Bride versus the Harry Potter movies. Okay, this matchup right here The Princess Bride on its own is one of the best comedies. It's one of the best kid movies. It has great, fun action. It's very comedical. The acting is great. The script is great. Everything about it is great. This is including all 8 Harry Potter movies. And the reason why I'm including all 8 of them in one is because they're a part of a series, right? Now, granted, there are 8 movies, right? So I think for this one, now, I'm going to get a lot of hate on this. While I love all 8 Harry Potter movies and I love The Princess Bride, I just think there's more versatility with 8 movies. Not to mention, there are more things I will go back and watch in Harry Potter than I will in The Princess Bride, whether it be the wand fights, whether it be music, certain scenes, spoiler alert, when Sirius dies or when Dumbledore dies. Like, there's a lot of emotion to it. But man, that is 28 seed versus 101 seed. Oh my goodness, that's such a great matchup though. Like, that is a great matchup. Now, if I deep dived into this and really thought about it, then I might have gone Princess Bride. Ferris Bueller's Day Off or The Parent Trap? I'm going to go Ferris. I like The Parent Trap, but not as much as Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That one's too much of a fun movie. Bunch of satire. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chicken Little. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is such a classic. I didn't really watch Chicken Little. I think my sister Ashley liked it a lot, but I never really watched it, so. Okay, this is the original Peach Dragon, not the live action, versus Mulan. The original Peach Dragon is fun. It's fun, but it's not better than Mulan. Mulan is one of those movies where I don't think I will ever get tired of watching it, because every time I watch it, there's something that I keep learning about it, or I see something new every time I watch it. Brendan Fraser's The Mummy versus a Disney Channel original animated movie. That's not even a question. A Goofy movie or Aladdin? I'm gonna go with a Goofy movie. I didn't relate too much to Aladdin. I like the live action movie a tiny bit better. I mean, just like a small minuscule part. But I mean, I love Robin Williams as the genie. That's probably like my only favorite part of the original. I don't know. I just wasn't too keen on the original. All of Wallace and Gromit versus Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Now, this is definitely one of my family's movies that they watch. They watched growing up. But Wallace and Gromit is by far some of the best animated things there are. Claymation, it's British. I lived in Britain. I love it. Feathers McGraw, the Penguin, is honestly one of the best villains of all time. I mean, you have the Joker, you have Anton Chigurh, you have Darth Vader, you have all of that. But Feathers McGraw and The Wrong Trousers is just absolutely great. Winnie the Pooh and Wally. Why are they... This bracket really wants to make me... I'm going with Winnie the Pooh. I'm sorry. I love Wall-E so much. That's probably one of my favorite Pixar movies, but I can't. The nostalgia of Winnie the Pooh is just too insurmountably great. Now, here's the other great one. I'm not going to pick Harriet the Spy against Up. Up is one of those movies that kills you in the first 10 minutes, but latches onto you real quick. Shrek and A Bug's Life. I love Hopper. I love Shrek. But I quote Shrek way too often. And while I love A Bug's Life, it doesn't hold up as well as Shrek. On Our Own is... I don't know if it was a Mormon movie, but I feel like it was, but it wasn't. It's essentially these 3 kids. I think they go... get put in foster care or something, and then they steal a car and they try to like survive on their own. It's just like a cheesy 80s 90s movies or whatever. Mask of Zorro, I'm gonna pick that. I liked On Our Own, but I remember Mask of Zorro a lot more. Fugitive versus Anastasia, that's not even a question. Fugitive, 100,000,000%. I didn't kill my wife, I don't care. I don't care about that. The Fugitive is probably going into the top 8 if I'm assuming. Now, Adventures in Babysitting and Great Mouse Detective. Adventures in Babysitting, that was definitely a lot of my siblings that I never really watched it. My siblings did. I need to go back and watch it because I've heard it's great, and I don't really remember it. But Great Mouse Detective is moving on. It Takes Two with the Olsen twins, or Turner and Hooch. I'm actually going to go It Takes Two. I like Turner and Hooch. It was a great movie with Tom Hanks, but It Takes Two had a lot of good comedy. Kirstie Alley and Steve Guttenberg and the Olsen twins, they were great in it. If you've never seen it, it's essentially where it's sort of like a Freaky Friday, but they're two different people look the same and they swap. No, it's sort of like The Parent Trap in a way. I don't know what mine was. Oh, I think this was supposed to be yours, mine, and ours, but we're just going to go with Miracle on 31st Street. When I was inputting the bracket, there was some issues, because I originally had 124, but then it said there was like 130 or something. Volcano and National Treasure. Oh, I love Nicolas Cage and National Treasure. I love both of these movies. Natural Disaster, though. You can't beat a fun natural disaster movie. You have Dante's Peak, Day After Tomorrow, Twister. I'm sorry. As much as I love National Treasure, I'm going Volcano. I quote that a little bit more, and plus, it's a lot more fun to watch, and you still just get a kick out of the Tommy Lee Jones, I don't give a crap face. It's great. Original Witches with Angelica Houston, or the 1 through 6 Star Wars, Not Even a Question, Land Before Time, Independence Day. I like Independence Day, so do my mom and my sister, but I'm gonna go Land Before Time. That's kind of like too nostalgic. I might get slapped up the head on that one by my mom. Annie or Modern Times? Ooh, I'm gonna go Modern Times on this one. I like Annie, but Modern Times as a whole, see, compared to Duck Soup, I feel like I could watch Modern Times a little bit more. It is a silent movie, but it keeps me more entertained than Duck Soup, where you have like different scenes and different things. Okay, Duck Soup, you have a lot more parts that you can watch versus the whole movie, whereas in Modern Times you can watch the whole movie and it's great. Singing in the Rain or Halloween Town. Halloween Town, Disney original movie. I'm gonna go with Singing in the Rain. I love musicals, and that's one of the better ones. The Big Green and Heavyweights, two great childhood movies. Heavyweights with Ben Stiller and kids at a fat camp, or Big Green, kids in a Steve Guttenberg, they're trying to be taught soccer. Deputy Dogs in Love. I gotta go Big Green on this one. Now, we're getting to some really good matchups. I know we're about 30 minutes into this already, so hopefully my editor won't hate me for editing this. But Little Rascals and Arachnophobia. I'm going to go Little Rascals on this just because if I choose Arachnophobia, I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it. And that movie still scares the crap out of me because all of the spiders. But I still really like Arachnophobia. It's just I have to be in the right mindset to watch it. But Little Rascals is great. Robin Hood or League of Our Own? I'm going to go League of Our Own. I watched Robin Hood. Apparently my brother, I don't really remember a lot from my childhood, but my brother, apparently he watched Robin Hood a lot. So he might pick this over League of Our Own. But I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. And A League of Our Own is just a great movie. Now, as a kid, it definitely was a little bit more risque than I was supposed to watch, but I liked it for the baseball. My Girl versus The Emperor's New Groove. My Girl is a kick in the heart. If you've never seen it, Macaulay Culkin, Anna Chlumsky, oh my goodness, these kids can act. I'm gonna go with Emperor's New Groove, but just for the sheer fact of anytime My Girl comes on, I just get depressed and I just like start crying. Animated Jungle Book or Freaky Friday, Not Even Question. Animated Jungle Book is by number one Disney movie, not animated movie, but number one animated Disney movie. Monsters Inc. versus Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now we're getting to good matchups. Monsters Inc. I'm not gonna lie, I get a little bit bored with Willy Wonka just because I've seen it so many times, but I think Monsters Inc. I like a little bit more. Little Princess, never really watched it. Hocus Pocus, phenomenal. Jaws versus Peter Pan. Jaws, without a doubt. Peter Pan's great though. Like I said, I've seen all these movies, and I'm not saying these are bad. This is just like a bracket of my personal favorite of what I would watch versus these. Homeward Bound. Here's another one. The Witches is another duplicate, so we're gonna go with Homeward Bound. Three Ninjas and Twisters. Two movies I watched so much. I'm going with Twister though. I freaking love Three Ninjas though. If you've never seen Three Ninjas, it's such a fun movie. But I'm gonna go with Twister just because it's a natural disaster. You get to see the tornadoes, you get to see the excitement of it, you get to see the carnage. Oh, here's the other one. So, Charlotte's Web, Dante's Peak, High School Musical. Dante's Peak, kind of an easy one. Now, I will admit, my best friend Taylor, he's gonna. If I don't say this, he's gonna call me out in the YouTube chat. But I used to watch High School Musical a lot. So, while I still listen to the music occasionally, I'm gonna pick Dante's Peak. Indiana Jones or Jumanji. So my dad watched Indiana Jones more than I did. Now I watched all the Indiana Joneses more when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out in the 2000s. So for that fact, I'm gonna pick Jumanji just for the fact that I didn't watch Indiana Jones enough as a kid. However, I really, really, really do like Indiana Jones though. Air Bud, Elmo and Grouchland. Air Bud, without a doubt. The theme music makes me cry every single time. Okay, so we're getting close to the end. Lady and the Tramp or 101 Dalmatians. Lady and the Tramp. Mummy Returns or another Disney original movie. Mummy Returns, of course. Space Jam or the Mighty Ducks. I'm going Space Jam. I like Space Jam. Mighty Ducks is great though. Okay. All right, now we're getting to the nitty gritty. Let's go a little bit faster. Sandlot, of course. That's without a doubt. Rescuers 1 and 2 versus Incredibles. I'm gonna go with Rescuers 1 and 2. Toy Stories versus Gremlins. Ooh. Toy Story. How to Train Your Dragon or Follow That Bird. That's not even a question. How to Train Your Dragon. Home Alone 1, 2, and 3 versus Arsenic. Home Alone. Father of the Bride versus George of the Jungle. Father of the Bride. Hook or Wizard of Oz. Oh, that's a good one. I'm going with Hook though. Sound of Music and the Muppet Christmas Carol. I'm going Sound of Music for sure. I think out of these two, this one's definitely the far superior of the musical. Little Big League or the Santa Claus? Okay. Let me think about this for a sec. Okay. Would I rather watch a Christmas movie year round? I do. Would I rather watch a funny baseball movie? Yes. But which one is going to edge out? Tim Allen versus Minnesota Twins 12-year-old. Now, if I'm thinking about this for my siblings, I definitely think it would be split. I think 2 of them would pick Santa Claus and 2 of them would pick Little Big League. So I'm pretty much the deciding factor on this one. The only reason why I'm going to pick this movie is just because I can watch it and not get bored. I'm picking Little Big League. Now, there's like, during the part where they're doing the divorce, that gets a little bit boring for me, but Little Big League, pretty much every scene there's something that I can still keep on, like my viewing, my attention to. So I'm edging it out just a little. Aristocats versus live action Jungle Book. I'm gonna go with live action Jungle Books. Mrs. Doubtfire. Jurassic Park versus Tarzan. Now that's a good one. That's a good matchup. You have one of the best soundtracks of all time in Disney history, and you have one of the best 90s movies of all time. I'm going to go with Jurassic Park, though, because Steven Spielberg is a masterclass at directing. The music with John Williams too is all great, and anytime I go back and watch Jurassic Park, I just remember how much I love it. Rookie of the Year, Mary Poppins. I'm going Rookie of the Year. No, I'm going Mary Poppins. I love Mary Poppins. I love both of those movies. I'm going Harry Potter. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but it can get really repetitive when you watch it a lot. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or Mulan. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Bang Bang Bang, Chitty Bang Bang. Mummy or a Goofy movie? Definitely the Mummy. Goonies or Wallace and Gromit? Ooh. I went and watched Goonies for the 40th anniversary in theaters about 2 weeks ago, too. Wallace and Gromit. I love the Goonies, but I will go back and watch any Wallace and Gromit any day, 100%. Winnie the Pooh or Up? Gosh, this bracket is trying to kill me over here. Now, there's a lot of Winnie the Poohs that just have the Winnie the Pooh title, and then there's Up. So, Up kills you in the first 10 minutes with the story, but it also has a lot of ingenious comedy. It has a great story. The animation is great. Winnie the Pooh, are you talking about the newer 2011? Or are you talking about the original 70s? Are you talking about, which one are you going to be talking about? So, really, when I say Winnie the Pooh, there's a lot of different ones. The only thing that keeps coming to my mind is from the the early 2010s. Winnie the Pooh is when Piglet's saying, "I cannot. Can you tie a knot, Piglet? I cannot." Like that whole scene, that's great. So I'm just gonna pick it just because of that. Shrek or The Mask of Zorro? I'm going Shrek. Fugitive, Great Mouse Detective. Like I said, Fugitive is probably gonna make it really up there. It Takes Two, Miracle on 34th Street. It Takes Two. I didn't really watch a lot of Miracle on 34th Street growing up, to be honest. That was more of my sister. Volcano. No! I love Tommy Lee Jones, but I love Star Wars. He's in St. Louis. He said he's in St. Louis. He said he's in St. Louis. Or, you underestimate my power. I brought peace, freedom, security to my new empire. Your new empire? Don't make me kill you. Your allegiance is to republic, to democracy. Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. Okay. I quote these movies a lot. I love I love all 6 Star Wars movies. I love Volcano. The only reason I'm going to be doing this choice is purely based on how many times I will go back and watch it in a month's period. That's going to be Star Wars. Now, if this was Volcano versus freaking Fugitive, I'd have a flip out. I'd probably still pick Fugitive, but I'm going Land Before Time. Too emotional, too great. Singing in the Rain, Big Green. Sing It in the Rain. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Little Rascals or League of Our Own? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going Little Rascals, though. Emperor's New Groove or The Jungle Book. Like I said, Jungle Book animated is one of my favorite. I'm going Hocus Pocus. That one's an easy one in my opinion. Jaws over Homeward Bound, 1,000,000 gazillion %. Twister over Charlotte's Web, 1,000,000 gazillion %. Dante's Peak or Jumanji. I'm going Jumanji. Now, out of the 2 Volcano movies, Dante's Peak and Volcano, I definitely like Volcano more. Dante's Peak is great, but I like Jumanji better than Dante's Peak. Dante's Peak is sort of like what I said in Duck Soup, where I will go back and watch certain scenes, but not the whole movie. Air Bud and Lady and the Tramp. I'm going Air Bud on this one. And Mummy Returns or Space. Shoot, these are starting to get easy. I'm gonna be biting my own words here in a minute. Oh, I'm gonna be biting my words. Sandlot versus Rescuers 1 and 2. I'm sorry, Rescuers, you are finally being taken over by the Sandlot. How to Train Your Dragon over Toy Stories. That pains me a little bit, actually. That really does. But How to Train Your Dragon is superior. We're going Home Alone over The Father and the Bride. Hook over Sound of Music. Little Big League over the live-action Jungle Book. Ooh. That's actually an interesting matchup, because I love the live-action Jungle Book, and granted, it is a little bit slow, but Little Big League, it continually keeps your attention. You know what? I actually can't decide on this one, so I'm going to do this. If this cap lands hollow, I will pick Jungle Book. If it lands on the field side, I will choose Little Big League. Alright, live action Jungle Book it is. That's actually a really tough one, I'm not gonna lie. Mrs. Doubtfire or Jurassic Park. Mrs. Doubtfire has great comedy, great timing, great story. But Jurassic Park is so nostalgic with the jump scares and the scares. By the way, there is a Jurassic Park horror game coming out later this year. Supposedly it's supposed to take place the day after the events of Jurassic Park, with one of the tech nerds that got left behind. I'm gonna go Jurassic Park just because my attention is definitely more. My attention will be more glued to Jurassic Park than Mrs. Doubtfire. Mary Poppins or Harry Potter? I'm gonna go with Harry Potter. I'm sorry, Julie Andrews. I'm sorry. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or The Mummy? First instinct would be The Mummy. Just because it's a lot more interesting things going on. A lot better comedy. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang slows down a little bit. So just for time wise, The Mummy. Winnie the Pooh and Wallace and Gromit. I'm going Wallace and Gromit. I already went through that in my head. Fugitive, that's sure. Star Wars over It Takes Two. That's not even a question. Land Before Time or Singing in the Rain. I'm gonna go Land Before Time. Little Rascals and Jungle Book. Jungle Book over that. Hocus Pocus versus Jaws. I love Jaws. It's probably in my top 10 movies of all time. But Hocus Pocus. I love Hocus Pocus. I'd be interested to see what you would pick on this one. The cinephile on me wants to choose Jaws 1000%, but the kid in me wants to choose Hocus Pocus. So I'm going to come back to that one in a sec. Twister over Jumanji. I'm going to go Twister on that one. Air Bud versus Mummy Returns. I love Air Bud, not just for the music, but there's something about the gut-wrenching part of when he gets taken that just makes me hate the guy that took him even more. And then when they finally get reunited, it makes it so heartwarming. Versus The Mummy Returns. I mean, you have Evie that dies, she comes back. You have the little gremlin things that shoot the wood things and kill people. You have Alex, you have Emote. I'm going to go with Mummy Returns now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. I'm calling a draw on this one. Just because I think these are both too different. So I'm going to go with Jaws as the tiebreaker because that is more cinematically better. Even though I didn't really know what cinematically better was when I was growing up. But, Sandlot or How to Train Your Dragon, Hook or Home Alone. I'm going to go... I'm gonna come back to that one. I can't choose. I'm gonna choose Jurassic Park on this one. Harry Potter's versus The Mummy. Okay. Unfortunately, Harry Potter has to lose sometime. It has to lose sometime. I'm sorry. Wallace and Gromit and The Fugitive. I'm going The Fugitive. If you've never watched it, you really should. There's so many different, really cool trivia facts. Just whenever you see Harrison Ford limping, whenever he right before the St. Patty's Day Museum, you see him limping. He actually tore something in his leg, and that's why the limp was there. That was kept in. There's so many different trivia facts that I love about that movie that makes me love it even more. Star Wars: The Land Before Time. I'm gonna go Star Wars now. I am going to be really, really screwed. I'm going Mummy Returns on this one. I'm gonna go Jaws on this one. I'm sorry, Jungle Book. Alright, I'm going How to Train Your Dragon. Even though that's probably the best baseball movie, there's nothing that can beat Hiccup and Toothless. I'm gonna eat my own words here in a minute. Alright, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Jaws or The Mummy Returns. Now, I do like The Mummy Returns slightly better than the original Mummy, just because there's a little bit more going on. But there is a lot to love about Jaws. You have the story. You have That's a Bad Hat Harry. You have the shooting star, which a lot of people didn't know that actually happened by mistake. You have the intensity, you have, you crapping your pants occasionally versus The Mummy Returns, where it's a lot of comedy and fun action. Okay, I'm going to go based on solely which one I would watch more. And the one that I would watch more, now, cinematically and critically, Jaws is better. Critically, The Mummy Returns sucks, but, audience loves The Mummy Returns. This is just from Rotten Tomatoes. This is not me personally. So the only reason why I am clicking this as the winner is for the pure fact of how many times I would go back and watch it in a month. Choosing Jaws. I love The Mummy Returns. I'm sorry. I love Brendan Fraser. I love Rachel Weisz. But I would just go back and watch Jaws a little bit more. Now I'm gonna go back up here. How to Train Your Dragon. I'm sorry, Home Alone, to do that to you. And then we're going to go back down here to The Fugitive Star Wars. Oh my gosh. Am I really doing this? I think the only reason why I'd be picking The Fugitive is because I would quote it a lot more. Star Wars, yes, there's a lot to love and hate about the prequels plus the originals, but I've seen Star Wars so many times, more than The Fugitive probably, but I'm sorry. As much as I love The Fugitive, I just can't go over Star Wars. Now, if these were single movies, Fugitive would be over episode 1, 2, and 6. Now, if it was between 3, 4, and 5, that'd be a different thing. Jurassic Park and The Mummy, solely based on rewatchability, would be The Mummy. Solely based on music and nostalgia and intensity would be Jurassic Park. So, I'm actually having a really hard time choosing between, what I would want to watch all the time versus what I would want to pick, which one is the better one. Alright, final four. How to Train Your Dragon or Jurassic Park. And then we have Star Wars and Jaws. Let's do Star Wars versus Jaws. So Star Wars, we are going to be choosing mostly between 3, 4, and 5, because out of all 3 of those, or out of all 6, those are my favorite. Episode 3, you have one of the best lightsaber fights. You see how Anakin goes over to the dark side. Episode 4, you see Luke starting to become a Jedi. You see him interact with his dad. Obi-Wan dies, but you have some good fights. Episode 5, you have the ultimate showdown between father and son. Wallop with the hand. You have the Hoth scene. You have all those great things. Jaws, you have the story about the Indianapolis. You have the music by John Williams. You have a great what did this whodunit thing in the beginning of the movie. You have the idiotic mayor. You have Quint, who is one of the best side characters. Richard Dreyfuss' character. And production in Jaws was hell for production, because if I remember correctly, it was supposed to shoot in like 60 days or something, but it took almost twice the time and twice the budget, but it really worked out. Now, rewatchability, Jaws I can rewatch monthly, weekly, same as Star Wars. So really, this is a tie in my opinion, but I think the only reason why I've already made up my mind on this is just solely the fact of which movies would I watch more frequently of certain scenes. And the only reason why I'm choosing Jaws is because I feel like I can watch the whole movie without watching scenes, whereas I would skip most of the stuff in episode 1 and 2 and just get to like the fights and, you know, certain interactions. So that's one reason why I'm only picking Jaws. Now, How to Train Your Dragon versus Jurassic Park. How to Train Your Dragon is probably going to be in my top 5 movies of all time. That movie literally saved my life, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. The music is immaculate. The story is great. Jurassic Park, you have one of the best animatronics of all time that still holds up to this day. You have Sam Neill, who is great. You have Jeff Goldblum, who's great. You have an entire movie that is nothing but pure cinematic masterpiece. You have the Velociraptors, which are so scary. You have Clever Girl, you know, and then you have Samuel L. Jackson's arm coming through the gate after he got killed. You have Nedry and the cool whip, shaving cream canister. You have so many different things in that movie that make it so great. And then you compare it to an animated movie from like 93 to 2010. Like, that's a massive gap, especially in technology. But with How to Train Your Dragon, you have amazing music. You have a phenomenal ending. Same thing with Jurassic Park. You have some really intimate moments between Toothless and Hiccup, especially when they're drawing. Whenever he's trying to get the Night Fury Toothless on his side. Steven Spielberg versus Dean Dubois. Dean Dubois is remaking the live action movie that comes out June of 2025 this year. You still have Jurassic Park movies being made. You had Jurassic Park, you had Lost World, you had Jurassic Park 3, and then you ended up going off in the same world, but Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and then Jurassic World Dominion, and now you have Jurassic World Rebirth with Samuel L. Jackson and Jonathan Bailey coming out this summer. This is really going to come down to because I could watch these movies week after week and not get bored of them, so I'm really going to have to go off of what is considered to me the better movie. And that's really hard to decide because these are both absolutely phenomenal movies. There might be one or two things that are wrong here or there, but 3, 2, 1. I'm sorry to How to Train Your Dragon. I really am. But with Jurassic Park, there are more scenes where I get scared crapless, and it makes it just so much better. I'm sorry, Toothless. I really am. And now we have our final showdown, which I never thought would happen. It's the two Steven Spielberg directed movies of Jurassic Park and Jaws. Oh, this is funny. They were actually the 19th and 20th seed too. I think I'm landlocked on this one. I really think I'm locked on this one. I really think I'm gonna have to do a randomizer on this one. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Best 2 out of 3. Whichever one wins. So we got Jurassic Park 1. Okay. Alright, Jurassic Park won the first one. Alright. we have our winner. Jurassic Park is the Mawini family's childhood movie winner. I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of movies in here that I could see my siblings picking differently, but this was just going off of me and me alone. But I definitely had a lot of fun doing this. I'm gonna try to do some more of these, or heck, I'll even do like tier rankings of movies. But yeah, there we go. Jurassic Park, too good. It's just too good. And of course, it would be the two Steven Spielberg movies that I couldn't decide between. But I just want to say thank y'all for watching this. I know it was a little bit different than what I'm doing, but I got a lot going on, so I'm going to try to upload when I can. But I appreciate y'all watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have any other ideas of something I should do, let me know. I'm going to probably do some tier rankings. Maybe I'll do like franchises of like James Bond or the Marvel movies or whatever. But I really appreciate y'all, and peace, love, and freedom. See y'all.